Alright, I do gotta say though, if you're an anime only, you might want to skip out on this video because it is going to reveal some stuff that happens later on in the manga, but they revealed it in the episode, so I guess it's not like too much of a spoiler, but you know, if you're sensitive to spoilers and stuff like that, I'd probably like skip out, but yeah, let's get into it. I gotta say that the episode was actually like, it was pretty good. You know, lately they have been like killing it. Like One Piece has been trending, Zoro's been trending, Luffy's been trending all over like social media and stuff like that, and that's because like the anime right now is just like absolutely killing it. I watched an interview with the director of the show, and he's just like, I want to show that we can bring quality content weekly, and like we can keep having these like high caliber episodes. There were a lot of parts that I didn't necessarily like because it was more of like an LSD sort of trip, and it was like kind of weird, but I was getting like the party vibes they were trying to show, but it was like, okay, let's just not do that next time. But yeah, one of like the key parts I have to say is when Franky came out, and I know I give Franky crap and I think he's a little bit overhyped by the fans, but he is really cool, and I do get why people have him as their favorite. I mean, I'm like, my favorite is like Zoro, so like I'm pretty basic with like my favorite pick. I love Zoro. It's mainly because I love Christopher Sabat, because I started the anime watching it dub. I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but I love him as All Might, so I loved him playing Zoro, and I was like, oh, this is like so cool to just see him be Zoro, and Zoro's awesome. So anyway, we got to see Franky be cool. He was like pulling out like the tank and like the motorcycle, and I literally like laughed out loud at like a few parts. There's a part where Usopp and Chopper were in the tank, and they were like, all right, like let's get in, let's go and like raid the castle and stuff, and like all the girls got in there with him, and then like Sanji was like, ooh, like I'm gonna try to get in there because Sanji's a creep, and they're just like, there's no like room for you, like get out of here, and they close the thing, and he's like all sad. Part that had me like literally like laughing out loud is like Franky pulls up to his motorcycle, he's like super cool, and he's like, Robin, why don't you like get in the back? And then she's just like, oh, like okay, and then like a whole bunch of smoke like piles up, and then like and then Franky's like, cool, and then like the next shot we get is like Brooks just back there, and he's like, yo ho ho ho, and it's like, it's such a wholesome like moment, but it's like, it's so funny. Like I know it probably happened in the manga, but it's like, it's been a while since I've read that chapter, so I don't really like remember it, but I was like literally like laughing like so hard, so you got to go back and watch that episode if you haven't. But yeah, so Franky's like, oh, okay, cool, all right, and then like they speed off and all of that. But it actually like really gives a really good moment with Jinbei and Robin, where they're just like, you know, we'll just like walk in like usual, like, you know, Kinemon, like he had a whole plan to do this, so like let's just go follow it. And they end up like walking, and they're talking a little bit, and Robin's just like, you know, we need to have a festival when like this is all over, and like celebrate that you're a new member of our crew. And he's just like, oh, I'm just like trying to do my best and all of that. Oh yeah, like a part that I forgot was Luffy was going after Kid, and then Zoro was just like, oh, I need to catch up to him because he's going to cause trouble. And then the whole time Jinbei is just like, okay, like, it probably shouldn't do that, guys. But he's like new to the crew, so he can't like, he couldn't tell Luffy what to do because he's a captain. And then like, basically Zoro's the vice captain. It's not said yet, but he basically is. So Jinbei's just like, not a great idea, but okay. And Jinbei is just like, okay, they ran off. And then they're like, what'd you let them do? And like the whole crew was like, oh gosh, Jinbei. And then Jinbei's like, I'm sorry, like I didn't know. So that was a key moment. But back to Robin and Jinbei, she's just like, we need to throw a party for you, we're so glad you're a new member. And then Jinbei's just like, I'm just gonna do whatever I can do for the crew, like I just want to be useful. And for a lot of people around here, they don't have a good head on their shoulders, basically. And he's just like, I want to think clear-minded, and I want to be able to help them out. And this is where it gets to the point in the episode where I'm like, okay, this is like, I don't really like this. Luffy is going up the stairs, and it's like an LSD trip, and we're getting a back and forth of like the party going on, and there's a whole bunch of like colors going around, and it's like really weird. It's like a rainbow color like effect. It looks like it was made in iMovie, like it doesn't look good. And then Luffy's like going up the stairs, but you just like see the things going past him, and it's like, it looks weird. But Luffy finally gets to the party, and he's just like bouncing around looking for Kid, and then Luffy gets offered like food, and he's like, of course I want to eat this. Meanwhile, Zoro is trying to find Luffy, and they're just like, give us some booze, like we're gonna give you some booze and stuff like that, it's the best booze around. And of course that's like Luffy and Zoro's like weakness. Like Luffy's weakness is like meat and food, and then Zoro's weakness is booze. So they're both being tempted a lot to get this, but they're trying to like remember the mission. And Zoro's like, no, like I'm looking looking for somebody and stuff like that, and he's like, some dude is like, chill out guy, and he looks back behind him, and that's where we get like the pulse from his eye, which is like a clear sign that it was Conqueror's Haki. Like there's no way around it. But it doesn't really affect the guy, so it's not like a full-on blast, I guess. But anyway, we go back to Luffy, and he's about to be offered meat, and he's about to eat it, and they end up hearing people talking about Ebisu Town, and it's just like, we'll throw this like slop on the ground, and like all the people of Ebisu Town will eat it up, because I mean, if you don't know, they basically just like starve all of those like commoners, like people, and they're keeping all that food for themselves, and they're just being jerks about it. So obviously this ticks off Luffy, and like Luffy gets like red bean soup like poured all over him, and he's like about to go off. We go back to Zoro, and they're talking about the people of Ebisu Town too, and then Zoro's just like, he's about to go off as well, and he's just like, yeah, drink up, and he like puts a jug down like one dude's throat, and he's just like, drink it all up, if like whatever. So he's getting pissed at him, and this is when Zoro, like, people are like trying to pull him off, and Zoro just like, no, and he just like looks back, and you get the huge pulse of like actual Conqueror's Haki, like the red coming out of his eyes and stuff, like no doubt was like Conqueror's Haki, and all the people fall down. And I was sitting in my chair, and I was like, oh my, wow, they like really just did that, like they really just showed like Conqueror's Haki right now. Okay, but yeah, so that happens, and he's just like, one of the people are like, hey, what's happened to them? He's just like, they got too drunk and they fell down or whatever. But dude, that's like such a big moment. So in the manga, what happened, I guess the rest of the episode, we go back to Luffy, and Luffy's just like about to go off on everybody, and then it ends. So nothing too much really happened. It was just like seeing the whole crew, seeing everybody together, and then the raid is about to start. Yeah, so the biggest thing was the Conqueror's Haki thing. Like, I know there were people online for a little bit talking about it, and just like, was this really it? And then I went on YouTube, and like I tried to like look up a clip for it to have for the video, and it literally like Crunchyroll put out a thing being like, Zoro uses Conqueror's Haki, like it's a clip on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, wow, so yeah, nope, they like legit said that it is. So the big like reason why this is like very controversial is because like Zoro uses conquerors without knowing it in the manga. So he ends up cutting Kaido, and then Kaido like is just like, hey, I'm like super impressed, like you got like Conqueror's Haki as well. And then Zoro's like, huh? And then I think he like passes out. But one of the things that the director has definitely been doing with this, and I know he talks with Oda and all of that, and they figure stuff out, is that they've been hyping up Zoro for like since like the beginning of Wano. There's been some like a lot of filler stuff with him about what's been going on, and like not overpowering him, but just like a lot of extra stuff to make him seem super awesome, basically. So they're definitely setting up a really big moment for him, and that could be with like the Conqueror's Haki moment when he cuts Kaido. But the difference is that in the manga, we don't know until after he cuts Kaido that he has conquerors. So I think what the show is doing is like setting us up to be like, he does have conquerors, and when he finally cuts Kaido, it's going to be like this really cool moment where he like finally uses it to its full potential. The controversy really comes with like, is he aware or not that he has conquerors? Because in the next panel, after he like cuts down Kaido, and Kaido tells him that, is he's just like, huh, like I didn't know that, like he didn't know that he had conquerors. Where in the episode, it's kind of like insinuating that he does know that he has conquerors. So yeah, we're just gonna have to like see in the next episode, or when that moment comes out, to be like what they're gonna decide to do with it. I want to go more on the side that he's kind of aware. Like, he's kind of aware that he has it. He doesn't know how to use it. He doesn't know, like, yeah, he can't, like, turn it off and on or whatever. And he hasn't mastered it, obviously. But I think he's starting to get hints that he does have it. But it seems like in the new episode that, like, he really does know, like, that he's using it. And he's, like, super smug about it. But, yeah, I get what they're kind of, like, trying to do. I'm going to see how they're going to, like, justify it when we finally get to that episode where he cuts Kaido, which is... it's going to be a minute from now, or maybe they have something in the next episode to, like, kind of be like, Zoro will be like, what just happened? Like, what did I just do? Which I could see more likely of happening, but we'll have to see in the next episode. But yeah, if you guys saw it, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this video. Love if you'd subscribe, comment, and like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.